My name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public. So please subscribe to our channel. Today I want to talk about something very, very interesting. It's a topic that comes up a lot, and it's not really directly related to the law so much as it is directly related to the lawyers. As between two particular family law attorneys, which one should one pick? How do you determine? You talk to two people, they both seem like nice people. You can read online whatever about the firms, but you spoke to them for a limited amount of time. There's only so much you know about them. How do you choose between the two? I would say this. The experience that you're going to have during your family law case, particularly if it's contentious, no matter who you pick, you got to expect certain things. You got to expect certain unpleasantness. I'm just talking about the process. I'm just talking about the fact that it's unpleasant to deal with courtrooms. It's unpleasant to deal with judges and to deal with lawyers for that matter. It's not something that people look forward to. It's like going to a doctor when you're sick. Doctor may be a nice guy. It's very unpleasant to go there because you're coughing and you're sick and this and you're that. So when we talk about the process, you have to understand, no matter who you choose, the process itself is not going to be pleasant. That could mean that you can't get upset at the judge. That would be a no-no. Your wife doesn't care what you have to say, so the natural thing is to get upset at the lawyers. And if you look around, you can go through the whole state of Michigan and you can look at the reviews of zillions of lawyers, and they're all going to have reviews that say, my lawyer doesn't communicate with me. I pay a lot of money and I still don't get to see my kids. You're going to find complaints like that all the time. You're going to find complaints where I ask for information and they send me something and I don't understand it, or I wasn't prepared properly. These are very common criticisms by people who don't realize that they're not going to win every step of their case. There may be points where they're not losing their case, but it's like a ball game. They may be behind. At the end, they may win, but they may feel during the battle that they got nicked a little bit. And the natural tendency is to complain about the lawyers. But you know what? Odds are the court assess the facts of your case, not necessarily the lawyer, and not necessarily you, but rather, because the court doesn't judge you, the court judges your conduct. So if you're upset that you didn't get custody of your child, but then it comes out that there's a CPS complaint 2 weeks ago because apparently you bit your kid in the face, you know what? It's probably not your lawyer's fault. It's probably more about your conduct. So you've got to look at this. So how do you pick, therefore, between two lawyers when the process is going to be unpleasant? The process is unpleasant. You want to pick between two lawyers. I would tell you this. You have a vision about how your case should look like at the end. Try to pick the lawyer that shares that vision. Try to pick the lawyer whose process that they're putting you through is designed to achieve that vision. Okay? So, for example, you may have two types of lawyers. One who's you might regard as a pit bull of a lawyer, and one who you may regard as a very reasonable, even-tempered, a well-mannered lawyer. And you're trying to figure out, what do I really need here? Well, the answer is, what do you want to be? What do you want to end up with? If you want to hope to have any kind of working relationship with your ex because you have a child, then you better plan and lay the foundation for that during the case. You cannot expect to spend a year tearing that other person down with your pit bull, and when it's all over, have any kind of working relationship with your ex. You cannot expect that. A lot of people will call lawyers and say, I want a pit bull of a lawyer. That's an expression I hear a lot. And I'm thinking, if you want a pit bull, go to a pound. Okay? Because lawyers are there to present a case. The better lawyers have the respect of the court. The lawyers who conduct themselves appropriately get more traction that way. So if you want to beat up another person, go to a boxing ring. If you want to win your case, you've got to go to a lawyer who's going to, A, share your vision of what winning means, and B, they know how to go about it in a way that preserves the dignity of the system, of the court, and of the bench. And you know what? If you're going to get a lawyer who does otherwise, you might not be happy with that. Now, you may say to me, well, I don't care. I just want to accomplish this, or I just want to accomplish that. My goal is to beat my ex-wife until she's a lumpy pulp on the ground. If that's your goal, certain kind of lawyers will better help you do that. Certain kind of lawyers aren't set up for that process and don't want any part of that process. So I think As between the two, you got to figure out what your goals are. Now, suppose you're choosing between two very well distinguished, well appreciated, great lawyers with great reputations. How do you pick one or the other? Money's not an object. Those lawyers probably charge about the same anyway. How do you pick between the two? Again, you're going to need somebody who you have a rapport with, somebody who shares your vision. So you got to work with someone with whom you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable with one over the other, that's your person. If you feel comfortable with both, then that means you probably won't lose out by either one. Will be a winning choice. And that's a great position to be in. So I would say maybe pick the one that's closer to the courthouse to save a little bit on the travel time, or maybe some other factor would come into play. But I would say in general, those are the guidelines that you should follow when you're trying to select a lawyer. If you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.